Thought we'd just do a quick rundown of kind of how we like to dress for colder weather when we go fishing. I always tell people there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear.
Yeah, that's definitely, I used to hate winters, then I started wearing good gear, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of fun in the winter wearing good gear. And we have great fishing in the winter. We talk about that a lot. We'll probably start talking about that a lot more. It was super cold this morning. We've been talking about doing a video for our clients on, hey, how to dress to actually enjoy your time. It can be pretty miserable out there if it's, 40 something degrees with a wind chill.
Yeah.
That gets cold fast.
And it's always a few degrees colder on the water.
Yeah, it's typically a lot cold. So
Yeah.
like I said, with a wind chill and the moisture, and like it gets cold. But you can have a lot of fun out here if you dress right. So we just wanted to go through, here's what we've been doing, here's what works for us. I don't think you need to go out and spend a ton of money. You probably dig through your stuff, get creative. But I think one of the keys with both of our systems is that we're layering. We have storage on the boats. You can take layers off. I did it today. I started with pretty much all my layers and then worked down as the day went on. And then actually was putting layers back on to make longer runs. Yeah. So anyways, here's what we're doing. So if it's really cold out, so typically my base layer is pants, shirt. But if it's really cold out, I start with you.
Yeah, so mine's kind of the same, but when it starts to get colder, anything like a quarter zip pullover, a hoodie, anything like this, it's fleece lined. This is a cool jacket. This is just a lighter version of that. That's really good to keep you warm on the longer runs. It's not going to provide a lot of wind protection, but it's
It's insulating.
Good insulating layer over your sun hoodie, t-shirt, whatever. So.
And if it's super cold, and I know you got the same thing. If it's super cold, I'm always wearing bibs, like I said in a second, but I'll throw on. So this morning, like I was wearing regular pants, but if it's like cold, I'll throw on. And I know it's gonna be cold all day. I'll throw on like a fleece pants underneath the bibs.
And that's what these are literally just Walmart sweatpants. They have like furry inside, so
those are fancy.
Not a lot of people get to say they get to go to work in sweatpants, but in the wintertime,
under the bibs, I'll throw that. If it's gonna be cold all day, because I don't want. See, around here, a lot of times we'll start like this morning. It started cold.
Yeah.
But then most days it's gonna warm up quite nicely, and you'll be dropping layers. So I might not necessarily want to be wearing fleece pants all day under the bibs. But anyways, that's kind of where we're at. I think you were saying you like to do that for your shirt. For me, I like having more freedom in my arms and stuff. So I typically wear a vest. I wear it a lot for a wide range of temperatures. But for me, my next layer past the shirt is going to be my vest. Most days I'm rocking that. That's always been a good one for me.
Yeah, just keeps your core.
Yeah,
warm,
the core, exactly. The core, but
but
also not adding to my arms. So I can. Well, I find with poling sometimes you don't want like restrictive things on my arms.
And I think the same applies to
casting.
Clothes,
and casting too.
Yeah.
I've had clothes that I was like, ooh, I can't wear this again because it's just too restrictive on my arms while you're trying to pole. What are you going for next?
I was gonna say. Yeah, okay. If you want to start talking about jackets, and then we can go to
So above my vest, I'm going with a jacket. For a jacket that I'm picking, because I want something that's windproof and insulating. So I have this. This is a Marshwear jacket. I think they discontinued this, but I'm sure they're making something similar to it. I really like your cool jacket. That thing is.
Yeah, so this jacket is pretty sweet. So this is like this morning when it was 40 and the sun wasn't up.
Yeah.
So this is a cool jacket. It's a puffy, but it has this kind of.
That's what I like. That's
wind
water,
resistant,
but it's also water resistant. This is kind of water resistant, but not really. That's why I really like that thing. One of these days I'm gonna get one of those.
And also personal preference. I'm a big hood guy. I like hoods on my jackets. Rob hates them. I don't use it probably a lot, but it's nice to have when I want it. But I think a big thing here is the outer layer is just cutting down on wind and water.
The outer layer has to cut down on the wind.
Because the wind is what's really going to get you, especially when you're running spot to spot. Just going 30 miles an hour in a boat, you
100%.
want to knock that wind down.
And that's why, and this is where, so all this stuff is stuff most people typically have, or at least something similar to it. These get expensive, but I know there's versions of bibs that you can get that aren't super expensive, but I'm going to tell you, for comfort on the water, pretty much all winter I'm wearing bibs.
Yeah.
Like, just something about keeping the wind off your body, most of your body, directing the heat to your core. Bibs I'm wearing these things all winter. My pants don't get bleached out as much during the winter because I'm wearing bibs.
So I think we both have Sims bibs.
Yeah, they're both Sims bibs. There's a lot of other bibs out there. These are fairly
Orbis
expensive.
makes some, Grundens makes some.
There's so many different bibs out there.
AFCO makes some. A lot of different price points. You don't have to get the Pro Dries.
Or I think at the next level down.
But like Rob said, we
Dude.
live in these in the winter, and so it was worth the extra money for us. If it's something you do occasionally, maybe spend a little less.
Yeah. Bibs
Huge.
are an absolute game changer for comfort in the cold. I love these things. Like, if it's under 50 degrees, I'm probably wearing bibs. Also, just getting splashed and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't get splashed a lot on our boats typically, but keeping the water off you, of course, when it's cold is extra nice.
Yeah.
And then I think, you didn't have your jacket in the stack?
I usually just have that.
So for me, I typically have the vest, the windproof kind of jacket, and then if it's really cold, I'll just go ahead and throw on the Sims rain jacket, which is also completely windproof, and it just kind of locks. With the bibs on and the rain jacket, you're locking all that heat in, keeping the wind off, keeping the water off. So I always that's kind of my 1, 2, 3 layers that I have on top.
Again, just knocking down the wind.
Knocking down the wind.
One other thing for bibs, I know a lot of people that we take fishing are also trout fishermen, and you probably have a set of waders.
Oh yeah, you've done that.
So like back in the day, I had a holy pair of waders that leaked like crazy, and I just cut the booties off and just rocked those as bibs. They're not as comfortable as like dedicated bibs, but you could just wear them with the stocking feet on. So if you already have waders,
there's no fashion contest on the boats. We might be wearing these because we're out there all the time and we've just gone ahead and dropped the money in them. But there's no fashion contest on our boats, and if anything, you get style points for the most creative. So no need to get crazy with it. But yeah, making a pair of bibs or getting a pair of bibs or something, definitely a game changer for comfort on the water.
Yeah.
I hate gloves. You freaking love gloves.
Yeah, so I don't really like gloves when I'm fishing, and I know a lot of people.
I don't like gloves at all typically, but especially when I'm fishing. Yeah.
If I'm going to wear gloves when I'm fishing, I have these old pair of Sims gloves that probably need to be replaced. But the fingers come off, your 2 fingers there and your thumb. It also has a pouch on the inside that you can put a hand warmer, and so that keeps the blood in your hands warm. So, driving the boat, poling, fishing, if I'm gonna wear gloves, these are my go-tos. These are ones I picked up in Montana when I was rowing a drift boat for a living. So these are really nice because they cut down on the wind, but they're also obviously waterproof. I think there's some kind of like masonry glove or they're chemical resistant.
You can get those in most stores.
But again, fleece lined.
Nice.
Super warm. And then when it's really cold and I'm driving the boat, because I can't put my hands in my pockets, I have these fold over wool mitts. And those are for
when it's super cold, I will break out mitts.
These are my really cold day.
I'll break out some windproof mitts when it's really cold. But generally for me, again, I don't like gloves, don't like fishing gloves, don't like pulling gloves. Most days I get away with, I'll put some electric hand warmers in my pockets in the bibs and have those in there. And then also couldn't recommend, so having a steering wheel for guys that are having a steering wheel that's wrapped where you're not having to actually hold on to metal. Huge difference. It makes the difference between me needing to put on gloves and not needing to put on gloves.
Yeah.
On those cold days. So yeah, that wrapped steering wheel. That's how I get away with not wearing gloves, and I'll typically one hand in the pocket of the hand warmer, switch it out. You're running.
Yeah.
Most days until it gets really cold, then I'll break out a pair of mitts that I'll throw on. For my head, I'm just wearing a beanie. Cool green, got a brand, I got to rep
shameless
that.
plug
Yeah, mill green heron beanie. That's pretty cool. For the beanie though, some beanies are not windproof, so you throw them on, you get on the boat, you start rocking and rolling. You're like, holy crap, this is not keeping me warm because that wind's just shooting right through it. So you got to make sure you've got a fabric that's windproof. I think you got kind of the same thing.
Same thing as mine.
I've made that
old
mistake.
Danny's Crooked Creek collar. I have to say, I do like the ones that fold at the bottom.
Extra
That way I
ear,
can pull it down around my neck, my ears, and then when I start to get hot, roll it up, take it off, whatever.
Yeah, I have some beanies I really like, but the wind just shoots right through them, and for that on the boat, they don't work out that well. I'll do a neck gaiter. I'll always wear a neck gaiter to keep the sun off me, but I'll do a wool neck gaiter as well. That's always nice. Don't forget, but most days, again, it warms up. Sun comes out. You generally want to switch to a hat. Don't forget the sunglasses. That's why I put this in the stack so I don't forget it. Because you do, on a cold day, don't forget your regular hat. When that sun comes up, it starts warming up. It's good to have something to keep the
Well, and
sun off your eyes.
I'll wear my beanie over
Oh, yeah, you'll
my
do that
hat.
again. No style points out here.
Yeah, I'm not looking good. I took a picture today. We might have to put it in the video because I got my full suit on, and there's like no skin
Tomorrow
showing,
morning when I'm doing the run, I got a bit of a run tomorrow.
Yeah.
I might have we'll see how I'm looking.
Rob's gonna do his hair for tomorrow.
Add the picture. Of course, shoes. The wind and cold when you're on the boat, especially if you're having to run any distance. Wind finds any loophole in your gear, and so I had a guy show up last year wearing boat shoes and like ankle socks, and it was low 40s. He was warm in his body, but his feet were freezing. So yeah, just any shoes. Again, you don't need to go break the bank. These are called Vessies. We like wearing extra toughs. Recommend those a lot. Rubber boots. Non-marking kind of boat deck. Flat kind of deck boots type stuff where you're not gonna like trip, fall off the boat. Some wool socks. Just simple stuff. Just kind of just sealing everything up. Again, keeping your feet warm. Legs. Something else, going back to base layers, you could just throw like a pair of long johns underneath, and if you start sweating and nobody's looking, you freaking take them off during the day. Just again, we have great fishing in the winter, but it can be a miserable experience. We're going to be having a great time, but it can be a miserable experience if you're not dressed for it. So we just want to take some time to show what we're wearing, maybe inspire some thoughts, so that as you prepare for a potentially cold day of fishing. And I say that like cold day of fishing sounds negative. Again, we have great fishing in the winter, so it can be one of the best days of fishing you've had.
And you don't want to have to go in early.
You don't want to be miserable. Yeah, you don't want to be miserable out there.
Because the fishing can be really good, and it's even better when you're not freezing to death.
Yeah.